Over the course of the following 1,200 years, the Olmecs flourished and extended throughout modern-day Guatemala, as well as southern, western, and central Mexico. Eventually, they were assimilated by nearby cultures. Even though they are essentially lost from history, it's possible that their cultural customs were carried on by later societies like the Maya and Aztecs. The calendar, the Mesoamerican rubber ball game, the first writing system in the Western Hemisphere, and the mathematical concept of zero are among the innovations attributed to this culture by modern historians. A civilization arises. The Olmec Civilization's self-designation remains one of the great mysteries. The Nahuatl term Olmec comes from the later Aztec civilization, which flourished from 1428 to 1521 CE. The term refers to people from the rubber lands, or rubber people. It speaks to their capacity to grow rubber from the latex of the rubber tree found in Panama. Their early ascent was fueled by agriculture. The Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia is analogous to the area where the Olmecs first gained prominence. Put another way, it's an area where a variety of ecological elements came together to produce perfect growing conditions for crops. The lowlands of what are now Tabasco and Veracruz, Mexico, have a humid climate. The soil is rich, and there is a lot of rainfall. The early Olmec society was able to cultivate corn and beans so abundantly in the fertile area that it resulted in agricultural surpluses. Food was plentiful, which contributed to the population's growth. It's possible that land's value increased along with population growth. Rich landowners were at the top of a stratified class structure formed by their wealth. There were probably a number of strong leaders who oversaw the civilization. Los Santos Tenochtitlan. The Olmecs were a Neolithic society, and with agricultural surpluses came the emergence of an artisan class. They produced a great deal of figurines, stone tools, sculpture, and pottery. The Olmecs first established San Lorenzo Tenochtitlan circa 1500 BCE. It was one of the two principal Olmec cities during their time on Earth. They constructed their city on an elevated ridge that shielded crops from flooding, situated on an island in the center of the Coatzacoalcos River. According to archaeologists, San Lorenzo had a peak population of about 1,300. The early formative period, 1500–900 BCE, saw San Lorenzo develop into a significant trading hub that contributed to the Olmec civilization's continued prosperity. During archaeological digs, a number of foreign objects were found. These consist of seashells, feathers, pelts, and trade goods, like jade, obsidian, serpentinite, and basalt. Culture and religion. As of right now, no known Olmec religious structures have turned up. Nevertheless, on Olmec sites, archaeologists have discovered a number of buildings that most likely had religious functions. Thus, they give archaeologists some insight into Olmec religious practices. The underworld, the earth, and the sky were most likely the three components of the universe that the Olmec religion believed in. Most likely, there was a shaman class among the Olmecs that oversaw religious ceremonies. Additionally, archaeologists have conjectured that the Olmecs might have engaged in human sacrifice and ritual bloodletting. Most likely an Olmec sacrificial site used between 1600 and 1200 BCE, a bog at El Manatee. There, offerings like wooden sculptures, rubber balls, and baby bones have been found by archaeologists. Archaeologist Peter Geralaman has identified at least 8 distinct Olmec deities. The original names for these gods are lost in time, but are commonly referred to as Olmec dragon bird, monster fish, monster, banded eye, god, water, god, maize, god were-jaguar, feathered serpent. Subsequent Mesoamerican civilizations would worship versions of these gods, massive heads. With 17 stone sculptures of colossal heads found to date, the Olmecs are best known for them. Initially, They would move massive amounts of basalt over distances of up to 100 kilometers. Currently unknown is their method of accomplishing this, though. The enormous heads would then be carved by sculptors from a single, up to 3-meter-tall boulder. Huge stone heads frequently share similar features, such as prominent chins, heavy eyelids, and fleshy, partially open lips. The purpose of these sculptures remains a mystery, but archaeologists have conjectured that they might depict Olmec rulers, or even players of a Mesoamerican ball game. Venta San Lorenzo's stature started to wane about 900 BCE. Thus, the center of the Olmec Civilization was the city-state of Venta. Venta reached its peak population of roughly 18,000 during the Middle Formative Period, which spanned 800–400 BCE. Since the majority of the residential buildings in Venta were made of clay and wood, they have not survived. However, a large number of stone sculptures and religious icons have been found by archaeologists. Venta is one of the most significant archaeological sites in pre-classical Mesoamerica because of these artifacts. The Great Pyramid, which looms over the city, is also interesting. Built entirely of clay, this 33-meter-tall structure is believed to be the largest Mesoamerican building from this era. But about 400 BCE, Venta started to deteriorate, which signaled the end of this civilization in its original form. Reduction and later findings. It is unknown what is causing this decline. Archaeologists surmise that a combination of factors, including war and agricultural shortages brought on by flooding or volcanic eruptions, may have caused the cause, though. However, they didn't completely vanish. They started to change into the culture known as the Epi-Olmecs around 400 BCE. The Epi-Olmecs, who were centered around Tres Zapotes, relied on subsistence farming and hunting. Moreover, they lacked the same trading network as their predecessors. Like the Minoan civilization of modern-day Crete, a great deal of information about this culture is still unknown. Still, archaeologists find new artifacts that provide insight into their identity and way of life. The Cascajal block, an ancient serpentinite tablet, was found in Veracruz by construction workers constructing a road in the early 1990s. The oldest known instance of Olmec writing can be found in it. The Cascajal block, which was carved circa 900 BCE, has 62 glyphs arranged in 28 distinct patterns. Despite their belief that the block adheres to grammar and syntax rules, researchers are still unable to interpret these glyphs. They speculate that the tablet might have been used for religious, legal, or commercial purposes, though. This ancient Mesoamerican culture will remain a fascinating mystery until further research is done.